there was a spark there. There was a concept of, hey, this feels different. I hang out with other people. She doesn't know that. And much in the faith, I had experienced other areas of the church. When I went on retreat with Reverend Christie and the priest there leading those services, it felt different. But much like a marital relationship, it's not like the next day I wanted to sign up. I just felt like I wanted to learn a little bit more, not really knowing where it would go and not necessarily expecting that it would lead to anything significant. But much like our relationship, what I kept finding was each time I would be around the Reverend Christie movement, whether that was in a small group, in a large group, or with the priest at retreat, I found myself wanting more. And quite frankly, it surprised me just in the sense that at the time I was almost 50 and was very active in my faith, but hadn't found that lane, hadn't found that calling. And so that was 2017 when I was first experienced it, and each year, a little at a time, even through COVID, as I would participate in RC events, I just felt called even more. And so I have now been a member of Reverend Christie for so somehow George felt like that made me an authority to talk about it. What I will say, though, is that I have come to believe that our journey in faith is meant to be in community. It's meant to be in community not only because as human beings we're social animals. I believe it's meant to be in community because it takes a community. They say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes community to grow in our faith. That's what I believe. I think of the words that Jesus said before the tomb of Lazarus. Take away the stone. And each of us in our own way, I'm certainly broken and fallen and a sinner. Each of us have our own stones that are blocking that relationship to God, a obstacle to our journey of faith. And as I've tried many times in my life, when I try to move the stone myself, I can give it a little nudge, but I nudge it just a little bit, and like stones do, then it just comes right back into place. Take away the stone. That's what it's not. It doesn't say this in John's gospel, but obviously for it to happen, many of the disciples had to go and work together as a community to move the stone. And in moving that stone, of course, it opened Lazarus to God's grace, but more importantly, at least to me from the story, it opened the disciples to the wonderful miracle that comes from knowing Jesus. And so to you, each of you in this community, you are now my community. You are the ones helping take away my stone, taking the beam out of my eye, because Lord knows that I need it. And so I feel so blessed to be part of this community and feel called not just to be a disciple to say, here's who we are, but to help others on their personal journey to Christ.